Hello folks, it's Rich here, just sat in the same spot as I was just now. A quick Chapman guitars video, probably of no interest to lots of people, and that's fine. I just wanted to talk about why I've had so many Chapmans and why I like Chapmans. 9 times out of 10, the people who like the Chapman guitar hater fan club is because they don't like Rob Chapman, or they think they don't like Rob Chapman. They only know what they know about Rob Chapman from seeing him on social media, and he may or may not be a nice person. Most of the stuff that you read and hear and see is actually he's a decent guy. And my point on other videos, I've said this loads of times now anyway, is the CEOs of Fender and Gibson and Ibanez and I don't know, Vintage Guitars and whoever else, you never know who they are or see them or hear anything about them, do they? Do you? Sorry. What are those people like? They could be absolute grade A tossers. And actually Gibson and Fender have both been done for price fixing, haven't they? So the merciless CEOs are clearly done some wrongdoing there, and probably to get to the top in business like that, maybe you're not necessarily a nice person. So it's bugged me a little bit really that people say, oh, Rob Chapman, he's an a-hole, I'm not going to buy one of his guitars. Well, you just don't know him, and let's say if you compare it to other businesses, there are a lot worse people out there. So that's one thing, one way of looking at it. And the other is this. Is looking at it for the product it is. Now, reverse headstock's not for everybody, and as you've probably seen recently, Chapman have started doing some normal headstocks on guitars, and I think that'll probably start filtering through a little bit more and give people choice. But reverse headstocks aside, because I never used to like them, got used to it now. I actually prefer the string tension, the way they're strung, with the longest string being for the low E. It's funny, but in terms of the guitars themselves, please don't just come on here and say Chapman guitars are shit when you've never had one, because a lot of people just won't have had one. The fact is, you get an awful lot of guitar for your money. Granted, if you buy one new, there are other things you could buy, but when you look at the price of a new Chapman and the specs you get, I mean, if you've not played a guitar with rolled fingerboard edges, you really don't know what you're talking about. Not that we're talking about, but you really don't know what you're missing out on, because it makes a huge difference. They're so much nicer, especially versus some mid-range guitars in other brands, and even some higher ones really. Rolled edges are lovely. Ebony fingerboard, just love ebony. The wood varies in terms of darkness from one to another, but it's just smooth, it's nice. The fretwork on all bar one that I've had has been really good, either good or really good. You get graphite nuts on them, and unlocking tuners and Seymour Duncan pickups and a lot of all the Pro Series ones, and the fit and finish on them is good. There's a lot of good stuff to be said. They're not perfect, like a lot of guitars. They're not always spot on, and they've changed factories, and you get a Friday afternoon one maybe now and again, that sort of thing. But actually, unless you played one, you should reserve judgment, because they are a very good guitar to play. In terms of buying them new and selling them, they generally get about 45% return on your money. So I sold my ML3 Pro traditional recently, which was £1,000. I sold it for 460, so 46%. If you buy a Fender Mexican new these days, a Strat is about 680 quid. I can't believe they're that much money now. Crazy for that. Anyway, and you sold it secondhand, you'd get probably 450. Yeah, maybe 450. So you're getting about 60-ish% back. Can't do the math, 62, I don't think. A Telly, on the other hand, cost you about the same new, but you'll get more like 4 for that. So I think, yeah, Fender, you're looking at 60-ish%, a Chapman about, say, 45. An Epiphone, they're about 50% return. So if you can find a Chapman guitar used, you're absolutely laughing, because you're getting a huge amount of guitar. I mean, the tuners on them feel like, in terms of quality comparison for you, they feel like a PRS SE or a Fender Mexican. They're that kind of, they're better than Squires. They're that kind of next tier up. And you've got, like I said, lovely fretboards, and the pickups in them, even the non-pro model ones, the standard pickups, I think are really good. Some of the older models, a bit less so. The ML1 SSS, so they're proper sort of Strat old style one. Those pickups aren't so clever. The pickups in the ML1 Hybrid and in the ML1X, I'd say, are average. They're not brilliant. They're okay. Unless you're really picky, I don't think you'd need to change them. But in lots of the other ones I've had, the moderns, they're just really good. The switches feel nice. You get full size pots in the guitar. You know, even the small detail like the cavities on the back, the plastic is recessed into the body, which is nice, not just sat proud like on a PRS or on a Fender. Yeah, you've got a full-size block on any of them that have got a trem. They've all got 2-point trem systems on, which a lot of people prefer. Pushing arms, that kind of stuff. You just get a lot of guitar for your money. So, point here is if you've not had a Chapman guitar, don't just dismiss it. If you can get off your high horse about what you may or may not think about Rob Chapman, and if a reverse headstock is something you can live with, or you like, or you're okay with, you should try one. You should try one. I think you'll be surprised at how good they are to play, how good they are to feel, and then the split coils as well on the humbucker. On all the ones I've had that have got split humbucker, yeah, it doesn't sound like necessarily like a Strat or a Tele, but the split sounds are really good. They're still clear and they're nice. Yeah, just a good guitar. So, if you've not had a Chapman, give one a go.